Welcome to this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. I'm your host, Ril Dil Quinn, episode 853, season 15. As we discuss the world of sports and pop culture, of course, this is the NFL podcast, NFL week 7 review. Amazingly, we're already through 7 weeks of the NFL. The season is flying by, basically at November. As always, I'm joined this evening by one Robert Sapp. Mr. Sapp, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Happy to be doing this program. Off a rough Sunday, to be perfectly honest with you. Themes for me, I had 2 themes: the Honeydew Part 2 and how low can they go. It was a rough Sunday of games. And I'll explain. I'll go really in detail in terms of how rough it was, as far as just the state of the NFL and the quality of play right now. What were your themes?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was listening to you just now, and I'm like, yo, you, me and my brother had to have a talk about this, about how to view some of these games. So the theme for me would be the fall. You know, I'm just I'm enjoying watching Brady and Rodgers, the Patriots, fall in real time. I'm having a ball. So that's good football to me. So the fall would be my theme.
Yeah, you have a number of veteran quarterbacks who have been falling this year, to say the least.
Don't forget about the Patriots. I don't got nothing to do with quarterbacks.
Yes, throw the Patriots right in there. Just traditional teams and traditional players who are struggling. Think about the names and teams you just mentioned. I could throw Pittsburgh in there as well.
Russell Wilson Brady, could go in there.
Russell Wilson, absolutely. Matt Ryan. He's not on that level, but he's not on that level, but
it's just funny what happened to him.
Oh no, we'll talk about that. That's cost of doing business. It is strictly business. My goodness.
You took your paycheck.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, New England, Brady, Rodgers. Those have been the 4 of the cornerstones of the league over the past decade and a half. And it is fascinating to watch them fall in real time. To be perfect,
Pittsburgh's not really I wouldn't put them in the fall. They're not really handling things like a crazy person. I think that's what's all it's not the thing that's not it would just be entertaining. The Patriots weren't entertaining to me up until this week. Because it's we see teams get good and not good all the time. That's part of the normal cycle of the NFL. It's watching Brady and Rodgers and the Patriots have emotional meltdown.
Got you. Okay. So that's drastic. So let's take Pittsburgh out of that. Yeah.
Departures from personality and play and style and all those different things.
Yeah, so take Pittsburgh out.
That
is
what's making it so juicy with Rodgers and Brady and the Patriots and them. Yep.
So speaking of Rodgers and Brady, we know that Buffalo, of course, did not have a game today, but guess what? A game last week. But
they had a good time.
I had some. I soon when we get done this deep dive, I do have some Buffalo things that you will find interesting. The deep dive, and all the thoughts. Segment, the fall of Rodgers and Brady in real time. So Aaron Rodgers has a losing record through 7 games for the first time since he started, for his first time as a starter, which was back in 2008. Brady has a losing record through 7 games for the first time since 2002, and that was the only time that he missed the playoffs as a Patriot. Matter of fact, the only time he missed the playoffs as a starting quarterback. Green Bay was held to 232 yards against the Commanders, and the Commanders don't have a good defense. I'll tell you that right now. I've watched. Trust me, that's my team. Tampa Bay was outrushed by Carolina 173 to 46, and this is 173 to 46, and Christian McCaffrey was not there. So both teams have obviously similar issues. They both are struggling mildly offensively. Green Bay's averaging 18.3, which would be their lowest since like the 90s. And Tampa Bay is only averaging 17 points a game. Both defenses are playing relatively well. Tampa Bay's defense only giving up like 17 points. Green Bay's defense, though we're not impressed with it, still ranks in the top 10 overall. So what have you seen from a technical standpoint as you watch these two quarterbacks? Because if you look at the numbers aren't terrible. And it's not like they fall in.
The numbers don't have to be terrible.
They don't have to be. No. That's why we have to like watch the games, because the numbers don't tell the story. But it's not like they have completely. It's not like Brady and Rodgers are playing like Peyton Manning of 2015, his last year. They haven't it's not gotten that bad as far as their level of play. What are you seeing from a technical standpoint with both quarterbacks that we haven't seen in forever?
But see, even that's a misnomer. A lot of people go back to that Peyton Manning comparison. The difference between Peyton Manning and these two is that Peyton Manning had a degenerative.
Right, he was injured. He physically was shot.
So,
yes. He was physically shot.
That's what that fall off looks like. This is actually probably more what the new age fall off is going to look like it used to be. Peyton got to play a whole season and get a Super Bowl out of it. It used to be the only way you got out of this league as a longtime quarterback was you were sent home. You were sent home packing in some type of way, before Elway. That was it. And so we were used to watching quarterbacks play to the wheels fall off, but you could see it so visually in the deterioration of their play because they physically were just incapable of doing the things that they were trying to do. These new age quarterbacks, and probably what it looks like for these quarterbacks that are trying to play into their 40s and beyond, what that deterioration is going to look like is just a slide in their overall command of the offense, right? This is the reason why I said to you it was never, ever, ever, ever going to work with Green Bay, with Rodgers taking a backseat to a running game in the defense. That doesn't even make sense to these guys. And so what I technically see within there, and that is what is hidden in these numbers, is both of their ability to identify a receiver and get the ball to that receiver is not shot. No, it is not shot at all. But what is problematic is their ability within the offenses that they have been traditionally used to, their ability to adapt to the new age defenses. And the defenses have switched up over the past 2 years. This is very recent. So please don't bring up Tom Brady's Super Bowl. This has nothing to do with that. This is very recent, where they do not come out of their various shell coverages, their various Tampa 2s, or whatever the different lingos are. And if you go and you start looking and watching, and I encourage anybody to do this. I was talking to my brother about this yesterday. If you go and you start watching how defenses have manipulated the Tampa 2, it's kind of like when it kind of reminds me of when Pittsburgh brought in the zone blitz, and that just completely messed up everybody's mind. Now, it might be attributed to Pittsburgh. It might not be Pittsburgh, but that's who's automatically coming to my head. So it might not be Pittsburgh, but whatever. When the zone blitz came into the league and how that just impacted the offenses for a while until they found a counterpunch. See, the only thing, and I bring this up because these defenses were created specifically to attack Patrick Mahomes. But then it flowed over to Josh Allen, and now it just kept flowing over to the entire league because the league was moving to the thing that can beat these shell coverage is a quarterback that can move significantly out of the pocket and get defenders in the back end to break their zone. Now, that spells
And that's where
Rodgers
is missing a number of those throws. He's missing those throws.
That's why it's
out of pocket.
Now with Rodgers, this is why it's just a tad bit more interesting. Brady's done.
Brady's done. Yeah,
Fight
Brady's done.
over.
No, you're right. No, Brady's done.
This is the end. We're here. So that just is what it is. He just can't compete in this NFL. He can't.
No. He's 45 years old. He's not supposed to be. He's 45 years old.
No. We're not talking about age. I'm talking about his game. The game and the offense they want to run cannot compete with these defenses. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not giving him 45. It's got shit to do with that.
Well, I'm just saying at a certain point he was.
I hear you. I'm not giving him that. This has nothing to do with what you just said. I'm talking to Thomas Brady. This has nothing to do with being 45.
You're talking about the lack. You're talking about the lack of.
No, I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking. Here's what I'm saying.
From him being able to move in the pocket outside. He doesn't move outside the pocket.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not simplifying. I don't want this simplified. This is not a simple soundbite thing. This is actually very complicated and a lot of different moving pieces, and it needs to be that. I want people to hear this to understand it. Brady, his offense, his mind, his style of play, as presently constructed, cannot compete in the modern day NFL. That's why he's done. Wash him out of there. Bye, Brady. Now, Rodgers is a little bit more interesting because Rodgers should be able to adjust. He should be.
Well, Rodgers can't. No, but you mentioned this earlier. Here's the thing about Rodgers. He can't get out of his own way. I'll send you some stuff about he can't get out of his own way from a standpoint of he's at conflict with his coach. His coach wants to run a certain offense, and Aaron Rodgers wants to do what Aaron Rodgers does. So that's, to me, I think it's an easy one with Rodgers from that standpoint. Like if you have your two most important offensive minds that are not on the same page, the offense is going to struggle. Especially without their best player outside of Rodgers with Devontae Adams. So I think Rodgers the Brady point is more interesting. That one is that Rodgers to me is clear cut. He and Matt LaFleur are not on the same page. Like that's just like LaFleur wants to run more. Rodgers wants to do Rodgers stuff. So you on top of that. I mean, you were right on top of that earlier.
LaFleur wants to do what makes sense.
Yes, what makes absolutely. They should be running more. With those receivers, they 1,000% should be running more.
But what Rodgers is, where he is at in his career, is he wants to do the thing that he's the most comfortable with, and that's why they're at.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of Russell Westbrook like in a sense. What he wants to do.
I mean, even a little bit more because what Russell Westbrook doesn't have LeBron James skills at this point in time in his career. So it would more be like if LeBron James is doing Russell Westbrook type things to the Lakers, because there is no Packers without Rodgers. And that's what they know, and that's what makes this so complicated right now, right? You slide another quarterback in there, fine. Run your offense, Matt LaFleur. They still don't win.
No.
The offense isn't that good. Running the ball isn't that much of a solution because, to your further point, the Packers' problem is roster construction.
Yes.
That's their problem.
Yes.
Their roster doesn't match the skill sets that they have. Here's the tricky part. When you can't say that you're wrong, you layer on excuse after excuse to obfuscate the whole thing, and then you start to believe the lie that you told yourself. The Packers organization told themselves trading Devontae Adams was not as big a deal.
Yeah.
And they were wrong. They were 100% wrong. They were wrong at the time. Not wrong now. They'll be wrong in the future. They'll always be wrong. But the fact that they haven't admitted that to each other, you can tell. They haven't talked. They have not come to that point.
It's not just them. It's the media too.
With each other.
It's the media too. So the media is basically saying that Devontae Adams is not worth this amount of many points. And I'm
But
like,
see,
yeah, he actually is.
the media, especially the ones that you're talking about, can only work off what the Packers organization gives them. So that's what I mean why it's so detrimental to lie to yourself or to not admit that you're wrong. Because all they can give is BS quote after BS quote after BS quote about how, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's this, it's this, it's this, and that, because they can't even admit that they were wrong on that initial thing. It was wrong to trade Devontae Adams. It was wrong to give away the weapon that our quarterback, our Hall of Fame, recent two-time MVP, back-to-back MVP, was so used and so comfortable with, to take away a weapon in the middle of or at the very tail end of his Super Bowl window to da-da-da-da-da. It made no sense. It made no sense at the time. It continues to make no sense, and they're suffering because of that. And yeah, it's simple, but there's complications within the simplicity, because yeah, it's simple to say Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers aren't on the same page. The question is always why. Why aren't they on the same page? If we assume that they both have the same goal of winning the Super Bowl, which they do, then why aren't they on the same page? And that's when you get all these situations that seem simple. That's when you start to to get into the complicated. We'll get into it a little bit with the Patriots, and it's just it's simple to be like that like he should have done this or that with either the quarterback.
Here's the thing too.
The question is why.
Yeah, but
here's
the thing too.
That's where the complicated comes in.
Yeah, no, it is complicated from that standpoint. But here's what I just thought about too as well. Rodgers and Green Bay organization both are one and the same in terms of they want to win, but they want to win their way. They both like they both are made for each other from that standpoint.
Well, I mean, like every organization wants to win their way, but the point is, why aren't you? Do you choose ways the same way? You both work for the Green Bay. You both part of the Green Bay Packers. Why isn't both of your ways the same way?
No, but the question is no. But even a better question is why can't you choose to win the best way? Why can't you identify the best way as a whole?
And then that could be the Green Bay way, whatever it is.
Because your way hasn't won it in 10, in 12 years.
To win. Just get the way to win. Just do that way. You call it the Green Bay way.
No, I'm saying they're one and the same. Rodgers, how they think how the Green Bay organization thinks is one and the same.
Then identify the Green Bay way. Win first, then say it's the way.
No, exactly. No, that's right. But I'm saying they both can't get out their own way from that standpoint. They both they both can't do it.
You made that point.
So
yes.
So overall with the two quarterbacks, right? There was a time where they would take a roster and they will raise the level of those rosters.
Right. Make it better.
That is in both of them. And I think Rodgers has more to tank left than Brady just on sheer age. He's 7 years younger. But even with Rodgers coming off the MVP, those days are done. I'll compare LeBron. I'll get back to LeBron. LeBron can still put up 38 and 8, but he can't take 8 guys named Joe to the NBA Finals. The NBA is deeper, and the talent around him is subpar.
Exactly.
There
you go.
That's just the way it is, and that's how that's just that's how it happens.
Yep.
So,
but watching them squirm while it happens is very rewarding. Because you're absolutely right. This is the natural order of things, but it's still fun.
No, it's listen.
Still fun to observe.
It's going to be a season long story as we progress each week. It's gonna be
until either one of them retire. This is the story.
Oh yeah, no,
You here?
no.
We at this point in your career. You here?
So I know that Buffalo didn't have a game, but I wanted to give you some a Buffalo tidbit that you might find interesting. As of right now,
all the thoughts.
The Buffalo Bills rank number 1 in total offense and total defense.
Yes, they do.
They are second in points scored and first in points allowed.
Mm-hmm.
They have the number 1, and now I'll even go a little bit of analytics.
Yep.
So
keep saying,
Football Outsiders
keep
have
talking.
a DVOA. They're number 1 in total
DVOA
offense and number 1 in total DVOA defense. Do you know the last team that was number 1 in both in DVOA this late in the season? I guarantee you won't guess because it's not an obvious one. Now, keep in mind, they've only been keeping DVOA since 1981. So it's only probably a 40-year sample.
Yep. No, this is good. I mean, like, I would want to get this right very much, but I realize that we're talking on the show, so I won't take like a tremendous amount of time. But you said, so my first guess would have been like one of the Patriots teams, but you said that it wasn't an obvious one, so that one's too obvious.
No.
But it had to be a pretty dominant team, because when you have numbers, when you have numbers like this, you will not believe when I tell you can dominate.
You won't believe it.
But the way that you phrased it also leads me to believe it's not a Super Bowl winning team. So I'm going to go with like one of the 49ers or the Giants team.
No. So those teams, 49ers the 49ers have a couple teams on the list, by the way. But the last team to do it,
I was going to do like one of the ones that didn't win the Super Bowl.
The last team, no, you were right about the team. This team didn't win the Super Bowl. This team, they came off a Super Bowl. They didn't win the Super Bowl. The 2003 Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl in 2002. Came back, first 6 games, was dominating through 6 games, but then the wheels fell. So they're the last team to. They are the last team to have number 1 defense and offense in DVOA this late into the season. Now I don't think they. And by the way, that 2003, they didn't even make the playoffs that year. So the wheels.
Who's their quarterback? Remind me who their quarterback was.
Who was their quarterback? Was it Brad?
That was Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. Yeah. It was Brad Johnson.
Yeah. I know.
It was Brad Johnson.
I know what I do this well. So enough said.
That's all.
I said no. They had great defensive talent. That offensive number 1 I mean, I remember that team very well. I knew it was going to be like an offbeat team like that, like the Giants or the 49ers. I'm talking about the ones that didn't go. I'm thinking about their late ops battles. That was like that Green Bay team. I also was thinking about that team that didn't go to the Super Bowl.
The 2011.
But anyways. Yeah.
That wasn't a good defensive team.
Point being that no. Point being that so it was just too quick recall. But point being that team had the weapons on defense, but did not have. That offensive rating was overblown. That's just all I'll say.
Right.
That offensive rating was overblown. Look at who they played early in that season.
Yes,
that's what
I'm sure the schedule was very soft.
So that tidbit, but I love that tidbit because it got me fired up. Because I've been thinking a lot about this because Josh Allen is leading the league.
Oh no, because Buffalo. No, the reason why I mentioned it because it's a rare. It rarely happens. This like for somebody.
No, I hear it. Yeah,
it's a rarity. So I just like I pointed it out because obviously with the Buffalo segment, but I pointed it out because that is just how dominant Buffalo has been through the first 6 games of this year. They've been that.
I said you got me fired up. Please, don't put that Tampa team on us. We're better than them.
No, not even close. It's not even close.
The second thing that I was going to say was I've been thinking a lot about this because Josh Allen was leading the league in passing yards, and he'll get it back once other people have their buys. But there's that my favorite stat of all time is no quarterback who's ever led the league in passing yards has ever won a Super Bowl. I love that stat.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about that with this team, and the reason why none of these things make me nervous because that's something that in previous years would have made me nervous to hear. The reason
Well,
why
look at your
none of this made me
defense.
nervous
It's a
is because
defense. Yeah.
if you not even a defense, if you look at what we did last year, we've been at this sustained level of dominance. So we've already gone through our failure with comparable dominant spaces. Like last year, we were the top ranked defense in the NFL. We ended the season as number 1 ranked defense and number 5 ranked offense. Right? Like we're juggernaut, we're a machine. And so, but we experienced failure being that juggernaut in that machine. And so that's the adjustment and the shift this year. And then I think on the second part of that is when I think about that, that's why I love this tidbit. When I think about that Tampa team on offense, outside of like Mike Allstott, like I can't think of other players on that offensive scheme, that offensive system that were just like really, let's just say dominant.
Borg Dunn was pretty good. They called Keyshawn later in his career. He wasn't dominant.
Don't bring Keyshawn. You can put work done because they were kind of like a package deal. But I switched from dog to dominant, so you're fine. You can. I don't care. Fine, work done. You can put him in there. But point being, when I'm going to say dog dominant, and just like so when I think about that offense, I was thinking about Alpha as like the dog, as the one who like just wants to sustain the dominance. My overarching point is on both defense and offense. I'm looking at two sides of the ball that want to be dominant. That Tampa Bay, that defense wanted to be dominant. The offense, not so much.
No.
So I like that tidbit because it really also identifies why I'm so excited about the Buffalo Bills this season.
As you should be. Game of the week, and this, trust me, folks. It was very difficult to come up with a game of the week. It was very hard. But
Chicago, New England, not hard for me.
I had Pittsburgh and Miami. Miami gets back on the winning track to go to 4-3 with a 16-10 victory over Pittsburgh. This was a rough one to watch. Anytime you have a game where neither team scores in the second half, it's rough. Tua, of course, returned, and as expected, very rusty. Missed a number of throws. Accuracy was just wasn't there. Needs to learn how to slide. Like he scrambled one play and tried to go shoulder into a defensive player, which made no sense, but was able to walk off the field in seemingly one piece. Pittsburgh was in the game despite the fact that, the 3 turnovers, they actually had a chance to win. Miami, again, did what they had to do on a night that they were honoring the 50th anniversary team that won the Super Bowl in '72, and it's still one of the most remarkable feats in the history of sports that a football team go undefeated. Probably, I would venture to say the most, out of all team sports, the most impressive feat. I don't see how you can top that, going undefeated in the season, especially in football. So they were paying tribute to them, paying tribute to those guys. And listen, Miami took care of business, did what they had to do, what they were supposed to do. Being a Pittsburgh team that's just not very good. Though I love the Pittsburgh receivers. All the receivers are good. Man, whew, they are, those young receivers are a problem. Unfortunately, they don't have a quarterback right now, but they have that young core of receivers is very good, especially Pickens, who had a remarkable catch. It seems to makes one of those seemingly one a week every Sunday. What were your thoughts on Tua's return?
Yeah, I mean, like the offense, like that's the offense that I'm used to Miami running. So like it definitely looks like, like that time off, he's sharp, he's the more that quick passing game. So I thought the offense ran about as well as it could run. Now it's about seeing if the kind of like the offensive stamina, his stamina over an entire game comes back completely.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I
gonna be
think they
honest with
ran
you.
out of gas as an
I'm gonna be
offense.
no, he was tired. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I sound like a concerned parent. I was just happy he walked off the field. I could not help but to think about him getting hit and another concussion. I was just like, yo, just get this game over with. Let this dude walk off the field in one piece. I actually thought, even though his accuracy was off, and Pittsburgh dropped a couple of interceptions that he threw to him. I actually thought that he made a couple plays. He One of his receivers dropped a touchdown that should have been caught. Um, I like again, my feelings on this. I don't think he should be playing, but that's neither here nor there. Listen, if you're Miami, look, you're 4-3. Like, you're 4-3 with a win over Buffalo. You're gonna be right there as far as the wild card. We know 7 teams make the playoffs. Um, Miami had, they have the season in front of them. They have, season right in front of them. They have everything is still right there for them. That defense, we know that defense is very good. We know what the weapons they have are scary. So, big win for Miami. This was a much needed win against against a feisty Pittsburgh team. We know Pittsburgh, despite the fact that they're not very good, they're gonna come to fight every week. You're gonna see a lot of Pittsburgh in a lot of these games where it's close. They're still well coached. We know Tom is a great coach. They still have some talent on defense, and they have some talent on offense. Like Najee Harris, and those receivers are a problem. So nice win for Miami. This is for Miami. You just get the win. It's not about style points, how pretty, whatever. That's the league right now. The league isn't pretty right now. The only team that's running over people is Buffalo and Kansas City for the most part. That's it.
Yep.
Everybody else, look, folks. Like, again, I'll
Get
explain. I'll explain later in terms of the product and level of play. I'll bitch and moan about that later on. But bottom line is, you have 2 dominant teams, and everybody else is basically, good to average. Buffalo and Kansas City are the dominant teams. Philadelphia is a notch below, very good though. The NFC East is very good, but they're not on. Nobody's on that level. This is like Lakers Celtics in the '80s. That's it. Like, there's all there is to it from that standpoint. So you're going to get a number of these close games, minus Kansas City and Buffalo, and that's just how it's going to be this year. I'm kind of resorted to, that's just the type of season it's going to be, from that standpoint. The majority of these games are going to be right down to the wire, fourth quarter games, 1-score games. It is what it is. So Miami handles its business, and they go on to 4-3. Again, Pittsburgh has a lot of young talent, but we know they are thinking about, being. I'm sure they're thinking about Bryce Young. They won't be that bad to get Bryce Young from Alabama, but we'll see how the season plays out. Games of note, Indianapolis, Tennessee. This game was definitely a honeydew type game. Was not even though this is a divisional game that had first place on the line. This was not. This was not going to make anybody forget about Kansas City, Buffalo last year in the playoffs. Neither team cracked 300 yards. Forget about the game. Like, I'm just going to ask you. No, I will mention something about the game. So, no, I'm going to talk about Matt Ryan, and then I'll get back to the game. So, Matt Ryan is done as a Indianapolis Colt. And it wasn't because of injury. This was clearly
done.
This was clearly a benching not from the coach, from Jim Irsay. They're going to save $17.5 million on his contract, based off the fact that he will not be eligible. He will not play on the field and be eligible to get injured. So say he would have played and got injured, he still would get $17 million next year, right? So him not playing guarantees that he does not. They saves that $17 million. And the bottom line is, he was not going to be the quarterback in 2023. So Jim Irsay is like, look, let's cut our losses right now. I can save some money. We'll throw out whoever, Sam Ellinger, or if he gets hurt, Nick Foles, whatever. We'll throw out the mascot if we have to. But Matt Ryan will not be our quarterback. So here's the thing, right? In a game that was basically a one-score game for most of the game, and you're blaming Matt Ryan. I'm not up here singing Matt Ryan's trying to defend Matt Ryan's play. He's done. He shot. That's it. Period. He's done. Cool. It happens. He shot. But
Yep.
you're gonna throw Matt Ryan under the bus. So you run Jonathan Taylor, who's clearly your best offensive player. You run him 10 times for 58 yards, and you throw the ball 44 times, and then you blame Matt Ryan. Those numbers kind of don't add up to me if I'm trying to win a football game. Like my best player is a running back, right? Clearly, my best player is my best offensive player from a standpoint. Maybe not my best skill player, because Quentin Nelson is probably their best player, the guard. He's their best player if we keep it their best offensive player. But my best skill player is Jonathan Taylor. So I think I would want to run the ball anywhere from 20 to 25 times to make sure that Matt Ryan doesn't throw the ball more than, say, 25 to 30 times. It's just a thought. It's just a thought.
Yep.
Again, this is not. I look. It's a story that we'll talk about, but it's not. Is it shocking? No. Is it something that's going to move the needle? No. Can Sam Ellinger play? No. Is Indianapolis going anywhere? No. So I just found it interesting, and it just shows you how there's not only dysfunction. There's dysfunction everywhere in the NFL, like with these owners that get it's just all. It's all over the place.
Said to me.
Go ahead.
It's not only that whole regime is done. It's
they're finished. Frank Wright.
This whole experiment.
Let me start over.
Yeah. It's just like, now y'all actually now do have to do the tough work of drafting a quarterback and trying to develop him. Yeah, you actually do need to do that. You do. It's this experiment of just grabbing quarterbacks off the trash heap.
No,
that ain't it.
That's over.
That ain't it. That ain't the strategy.
No,
not gonna work. So Frank Wright, I was also thinking as I was watching the game, I was like, I hope you got your offensive coordinator resume dusted off.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
it looks like they'll be starting over again. Like you said, they'll be starting over again. And again, it wasn't too long ago that
we'll be searching for a new head coach.
Yes, head coach, quarterback, the whole nine. Yeah, head coach, quarterback, the whole nine.
They're gonna be drafting a quarterback. They're gonna be drafting a quarterback.
And by the way, it wasn't that long ago that you had a generational talent that you just ruined.
But that is. I mean, no, it is. I mean, and they're paying the penalty for it.
That's the price you should pay. You should pay a price for ruining a generational talent. A guy that should be a guy that probably should be the best quarterback in the league, right? Or amongst the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, that guy should be top 3 right now. He would be top 3 without question.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
But give Tennessee credit. They've saved their season. They've won, I think, 4 straight. The coach is the truth. Like, we've seen a number of 0-3 teams go into the tank. Vrabel is a big time coach. That's all there is to it. Because they're not a talented team. They're not a very good, that's coaching. That's coaching and culture. Cleveland, Baltimore, again, a game that won't go in the annals in terms of the Football Hall of Fame games played. Cleveland, Baltimore survives Cleveland 23-20. Basically, Cleveland won this game. Baltimore won this game because Cleveland is Cleveland. Lamar Jackson had a just average game at best. Turnovers were the difference in this game. Cleveland has some big turnovers. They outgained Baltimore 336 to 254. Think about that. 336 to 254. 254 was it. Again, Cleveland is Cleveland. We know Cleveland has talent on both sides of the ball. Divisional game. But they're gonna make mistakes they're gonna find ways to lose the game. That's all there is to it. Baltimore didn't do anything spectacular by any stretch of imagination. Again, they just happened to just be fortunate that they were playing Cleveland. You had any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Cleveland's not a well-coached, well-structured organization. So
No,
they're
no.
destined to lose.
Seattle, Seattle, San Diego, not San Diego, excuse me, Seattle, Los Angeles, Seattle 37-23. Give the Seattle Seahawks a lot of credit. They had a big day rushing, 215 yards, 15 yards rushing. Most of it came from Kenneth Walker, who had 168. A workman performance by Geno Smith, and I have some more I have some Geno Smith stuff because let's be honest, Geno Smith this year has played like a
He's balling.
Pro Bowl, All Pro
Yeah.
caliber quarterback. I was watching
Yeah.
some stuff right now. Right now, he has the
Yeah.
8th best MVP odds, and
Uh-huh.
you could have like. There's no. This is a guy who I didn't think would even be in the league 2 years ago.
And
Like,
honestly, real, if his name wasn't Geno Smith, he would be higher in the MVP.
oh yeah, oh
race.
yeah, oh yeah. No question. No.
It's because of his past
I
that
was
he's not higher.
I was watching some stuff, some highlights. I was watching the season highlights, and it doesn't look like he like whoever was training him, whatever work he was putting in has been putting in, whatever. He doesn't look like it doesn't look like the same guy. Like it doesn't like the accuracy. Right now he leads the NFL in completion percentage at 73.4. And this is not he's not doing dink and dunk either. He leads it in terms of his accuracy, his pocket presence, throwing receivers open. Like I said, it does not look like the same. It's like you would not believe that this guy played for the Jets. You would not believe that this guy played for the Chargers at one point. Like this does not look like the same guy. It is remarkable. It's one. It might be the best story in the league right now. To be honest with you, I think it probably is the best. I mean, besides what Buffalo and Kansas City, besides what the obvious ones, I think this is the best story in the league. This guy, his renaissance, and like you look at these quarterbacks, and I wanted to ask you this: like, what do you think happens to a guy that looks so bad at certain points of their career and gets to get to this type of level? Like, I thought about Rich Gannon, I thought about even Ryan Tannehill. What are your thoughts on him on Geno Smith this year, and like what happens?
I mean,
How do
Brad
we?
Johnson and Trent Dilfer would be other examples as well. I think so. So this is one of the reasons why I love fantasy.
I don't
Right?
think
Like,
Trent
it's
Dilfer
like
never played at this level. Yeah, you got no Trent Dilfer.
You have to focus, real. I've moved far on from that comment. So this is the reason why I love fantasy. Fantasy is will tell you things that will get you past your own personal beliefs in a player.
Right.
And so like if you've been playing fantasy, you've been on the Geno Smith bandwagon pretty much this entire time because he's been balling from jump. I mean, just absolute balling. Yeah, no dink and dunk or anything like that because he's a machine right now. And so I think I like your Tannehill comparison because I could not see nothing but a bum from Tannehill. And so no matter the result, I was just like, yes, Tannehill's the worst. But I like that comparison because he did get better. And I think the biggest thing, and this is the mistake that everybody who wants to kind of just like talk about things and not really think about them, the mistake that everybody makes is they go, and I heard it even the other day, it was like, oh, and the Jets could have had Josh Allen, or the Bills could have had Patrick Mahomes, or the one back in the day for the Bills fans, the Bills could have had Cam Newton. Yeah. We could have a name. You could have called that player's name at the draft, but is that player the same player in your organization, right? And so my simple answer to that complicated question is the thing that changes is you should evolve over a period of time. That's just as a person, but definitely as a player. Your skill, you should evolve. You should get better. Well, now, whatever that better is based on your own independent skill set and different things. But we should get better. And then the biggest thing is the organizational structure, the coaching that you get within the organization. And we kind of outlined it pretty well in our previous conversations about quarterbacks and the difference between a quarterback and a offensive system that are completely simpatico, on the same page, uses their skill set, all the different things, all the various different words that we use to describe it, versus a quarterback who's in offensive situations that are not beneficial. And so if I had to boil it down to one thing, when I think about Geno Smith, I think about two things. I think about one is maturity, and then I think about he's in an offensive system that gets the best bang for his buck average skill set.
I give him, and also I think too, getting out of New York, like the New York, like we've seen New York like destroy athletes as far as that the media and the mentality just not being able to handle the play in New York. Like to your point about the situation, getting again, Seattle is a great sports town, but it's not New York. Like that's all there is to it. I get, like I said, I get a guy all the credit in the world. Like he had every reason to quit, every reason, like just kicked around, was the butt of many jokes. So clearly, this dude was in the lab. Like to your point about evolving and getting better, this dude has clearly put the work in. He's got whatever quarterback guru or whatever. Like he's like the work. He's clearly put the work in. Like that's just all there is to it. And I just think that you know, in the NFL, as a quarterback, all you have to do, because there are only about 32 teams. You got about 15 quarterbacks that you somewhat trust, if that. All you have to do is hang around, and you will get multiple opportunities. Like if you are on a roster through injury, through franchise dysfunction, through whatever the situation is, just hang around. Just make a team. Just be a second or third string, and you're gonna get another chance. Like you're going to get, if not multiple chances, to get a start to get a starting job, to get a starting job again. So you have to give him all the credit in the world, just for just hanging around, staying the course, hanging around. Not so much staying the course because he clearly got better and evolved, but just hanging around. So yeah, and it's been great to watch. Seattle's a fun team to watch because they play these wild games. They play these crazy offensive games. So they're become entertaining. And by the way, I don't, I know, I was high on the Chargers. I don't even knock the Chargers for losing this game. This wasn't about the Chargers. Seattle, they got outplayed. It's at Seattle, and Seattle, this was about Seattle. So I don't even, I know we've beaten on the Chargers, but I don't even knock the Chargers for losing this game because of how well Seattle played. Um, Biggest disappointment, I had the NFL product. What was your biggest disappointment of the week?
The Bill Belichick's decision making. Let's describe it like that. Would you like me to elaborate?
Please, 'cause I know you've been
okay.
Please elaborate.
I will elaborate. All right. So here is, let me just paint the entire picture. I had no interest in watching the Chicago New England game, and as a matter of fact, I didn't. I fell asleep. I just had no interest in watching that game. So I wake up the next morning and I see the score, and I'm just like, that's fun. Chicago beat the hell out of them. And then I start to read about how they lost, and I said, this is amazing. Let me stop exactly what I'm doing and watch this game from start to finish. So that's what I did. And so I'm sure by now you've heard a lot of the speculation and everything right there. And so I want to kind of like take this from three levels. I want to take this from the level of the decision making that Bill Belichick said in the moment, and then I'm going to then layer on two other theories that have come from the fan base / beat reporters that are plugged into different Patriots to different parts of the organization. So here is what Bill Belichick said. Bill Belichick said his plan was to play both Zappe and Jones that game. Okay, so that was the plan going in, was to play two quarterbacks. So again, we get to that essential question. Why was that the plan? What does Mac Jones or Bill Zappe do appreciably better than the other one, where you would find any tactical advantage in the playing both quarterbacks? Okay? So that's number one. Then Bill Belichick was asked, did Mac Jones come out because of injury? No, because of performance, because he was pulled after the series way through the interception. Bill Belichick said no to that. It wasn't performance. Then someone said, well, was it health related? Or maybe health related came before the performance question. But needless to say, Bill Belichick says no, it wasn't health related. But then another reporter asked a follow-up question to that, and was like, well, Mac Jones was at X percentage and health-wise, so could that have been part of what went into the thought preparation of the week? He was like, yeah, that was part of it. So right now, or immediately after the game, Bill Belichick, he was asked about, what situation does determine if a quarterback comes out of the game? And he said, well, the situation. And again, when pressed about the situation he's referring to, he said the whole situation. So in a time where everybody actually needed some very specific answers to questions as to what is your thought process, what is even going on, this makes no sense to anyone on the history of the planet Earth who's ever watched a professional football game or coached a professional football game. Just give us one logical response. The best that Bill Belichick could come up with was this was the plan the entire time. It had nothing to do with health. It had nothing to do with performance. It had everything to do with the situation. What situation? The whole situation. That's what you get from your all-time great head coach. So that's number one. That was immediately after the game. Then in the hours and the days following, because of course that made no sense to anybody and people actually needed answers, people started exploring through the organization and talking to various different players. And so two popular theories have come up since then. One is that Belichick, One is that Mac Jones went to Belichick and said, Belichick, can I please play? And Belichick, being the new nice guy that he is, acquiesced to Mac Jones and was like, Mac Jones, he was going to start Mac Jones that game and then, or start him for that game, but then put Zappe in for the rest of the game, no matter what. So that's one theory that's popped up since then. The other one, and this is the one that I more subscribe to, is that Belichick thought he had that game in the bag and that it didn't matter which quarterback he played or how much he played either quarterback. So if Mac Jones struggled at the start, no worries, I'll play Zappe because my defense is great and we're going to beat this team by 2 touchdowns anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And in response to that theory, I say, how dare you? You are not good enough to even remotely think you can handle any team in the league, and let alone think you can start a couple of quarterbacks. So I illustrate that to say, whether you believe those theories or not, whether you believe Belichick or not, this is a problem because the decision making that he is having is not, Belichick's thing, the Patriots way, what's best for the team. That decision that he made in that moment, no matter for what the reason, was not what was best for that team.
I love it. I love the dysfunction. I can see you just laying it out like that. I totally understand why you were giddy about this situation because and so many layers to it. Number one, you don't have a quarterback right now. That's number one. You don't. Period.
Nope.
We don't have a quarterback, but we already knew that. But the ideal,
we kind of did, but did he prove it?
Oh yeah, he put the nail in the coffin from that standpoint.
It was on display.
But
the
idea that this genius, all-time great coach is throwing darts. Because that's what it is. You're throwing darts.
Yep.
You're throwing darts.
Yep.
It's fascinating. It is beautiful to watch in real time. I'll tell you this, and let's bring it all the way back to what you said about Tom Brady, right? Because this one is very similar in terms of Belichick.
They are.
Tom Brady style is not fit for today's NFL. Time to go, get out.
Nope.
Bill Belichick's style is not fit for the NFL. Time to go, get out. Just that's it's just they are absolutely in the same boat from that standpoint. Period. It's all there is to it. It's over. It's over. And by the way, I hope you keep coaching just out of just for content's sake and just I love this fall and I love it. But let's be honest with you, it's over. Like it is what it is. It's over. Yeah. Like I.
Yep.
Yep.
It was quite tasty. It was quite.
Oh my god! Because at first I was like, you want to talk about the Patriots? I was like, I saw.
Yes, I do.
I was like, okay,
yes,
okay. I started reading, so I was like, oh, okay. Now I know what you kind of maybe lead to, but now yes, you haven't laid. Yeah, now it makes perfect sense of how you laid the way you laid this out. It makes perfect sense, and the bottom line is, it's over for Tom. It's over for Bill. It's over, like that. Like when you start throwing darts as a
that's not even like real. That's not even a rookie hat. I wouldn't even put this on Hackett. This is that like we know it's a cardinal sin to start two quarterbacks.
No.
We like we're gonna do like the fact that you thought that was an excuse is what makes it so laughable.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you really want to go with that? This is your plan.
Yep.
The great Bill Belichick.
Yep.
This is your genius plan.
Yeah. No.
Was to play two average quarterbacks.
Yep.
That's what you got.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you really do have nothing. Got it.
No.
Got it. Okay. Yep. You legit got nothing. Like nothing.
Yeah. No, it's great to watch. It's great and it's fascinating to watch. It's just this, like I said, this deterioration of this legendary coach as he just continues to just, get in his own way from a standpoint. No one can tell him nothing, of course.
There you go. Nope.
No one can tell him nothing.
Now, me and my brother were talking about it. Look at his coaching staff. Is there anybody on there he hasn't directly coached, like owes their entire existence to him or is related to him?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So who's going to tell Belichick he's wrong?
Nobody. No. Bill, great guy. Yeah, great idea, Bill. Yeah, we're going to get this one. No, there's no one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bill. Genius idea. Yeah, we should start both. We should do that. Yes, we should. Absolutely. You're right. You're correct. Nobody will see that coming at all.
Oh, Bill.
No.
Bill,
I mean,
Bill,
the last thing that I will say is that the Patriots better pray to whatever God they believe in. That Buffalo is either off their game or
no.
all of them get food poisoning because I wasn't worried about them anyway. But it's just like
Nah, you should no.
y'all have
No,
nothing.
no,
Y'all
no.
have no, but they like y'all have nothing. You just they're like we can sleepwalk to 40 on you.
Yeah.
Like
No.
Fields, you made Fields look like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you got like it's real. Belichick has no clue what to do against a running quarterback.
Oh no. No, no, no,
No
no,
clue.
no, no.
So I'm just like, oh God, y'all got nothing. You got nothing. Oh, it's bad.
So I had my biggest disappointment. I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, the NFL product. Um, and here's how I know that the product is not up to par. So as everybody knows on this podcast, how big of an NBA fan I am. I of course make no bones about it. We know how much I love basketball in general, but I don't really go hard into the NBA. I would say until like early November, mid November, maybe early December per se. I'll watch a couple games here and there. Keep up with obviously highlights stuff like that. I know what's going on. This past Sunday, um, the NBA was completing its first week of play, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I basically split the evening between the NBA and the NFL. I had matter of fact, I had the NBA game on my big screen and the NFL Monday Sunday night game on the computer. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And then, like, I think to myself, like, what? This just doesn't happen. Now, this may not be much of a more. This actually may be more of a praise of what the NBA product right now is, because the NBA product right now is clearly is just a better product. Let me be honest with you. Like this, especially this year, night in, like even the bad,
The NBA is good.
even the bad teams have good players and are entertaining. Like the storylines, like night in and both. Listen, for the first time in I can remember, both conferences are loaded. There's no imbalance. The East is loaded, the West is loaded. And then you have these storylines, these narratives with the Lakers coming apart at the seams, the Nets being the Nets, um, the leaps that Ja Morant is taking. Um, it's just like no, the product again. This I might not be. It might not. I might not be fair to the NFL saying right now that it's most disappointing, but because it's more about the NBA. But the product right now in the NBA is clear. It's just a better product. I mean, I was just right now, 2022, October 2022. The NBA product is a better product than the NFL. It is. I mean, folks, I just got to be real with you. Now again, football geeks like myself and Mr. Sapp, we're gonna watch the games, of course, and dissect the NFL. We love the NFL, even if the quality of play is not up to par. But I've never been into the NBA this early, and not so much. I'm not pushing football aside, but just the fact that on a Sunday night, watching the first weekend of the NBA. I was watching New Orleans and it was New Orleans and Utah, and it was somebody else too. The Nets were playing um, Toronto, so maybe it wasn't Nets Toronto. It was Nets and somebody else. But anyway, whatever it was, it had my attention over the Sunday night game, and that has not that's never happened to me. Like as an adult, never. I can't remember the last time that ever happened. To be honest with you, um, but I mean, listen, it's a better product right now. It is, and that's the first time I've said that. Like I don't forever, but right now the NBA is a better product, and the NBA, those narratives, those summer storylines, Durant and all that stuff that's paid off. Those trades with Minnesota and Cleveland, all that stuff that happened all the things that happened in the NBA offseason are paying dividends right now up until like this first week of the season. All of it. And with some surprises. like what you got, what's going on in Utah, or what's going on with the Pelicans, which is not a big surprise, but I thought because I think a lot of people thought Pelicans were going to be very good anyway, but still. So it's going to be a
Portland.
ongoing story throughout the course of the season. We'll see how. Now again, that could change in a couple of weeks because the level of play in the NFL could go up and easily, and probably will go up. But right now, the product is better. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, offenses have to catch up to NFL defenses. The NFL defenses have the advantage right now.
Oh, easily, not even close. The defenses are kicking. They're destroying the offenses right now. They're destroying like I mean, you basically got three teams that score. You got Buffalo, Kansas City, and Philly. Those are the only teams that are scoring, and then to a lesser, and Seattle to a lesser extent. Yeah, no, the offenses are the defenses are far superior to the offenses. The defensive linemen and like those hybrid linebackers are that it's not just the scheme, it's I think just the athleticism too. These edge rushers and these high like this guy, like a Derwin James Jr. from St. Los the Chargers, those guys, like I mean, it seems like the athleticism is superior on the defensive line versus these offensive lines, to be honest with you. Question for Sapp. So I put up the standings of the NFC South and the NFC West. What do you make of what is on this screen right now? Like, because two of these teams have to go to the playoffs. Two of these teams have to go based off the division winners. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the South is as same as it ever was. It's going to be Tennessee.
You mean Tampa?
And the thing with the West, wait, NFC. Oh, you said NFC South. I'm thinking AFC South. Sorry, the NFC South. It's not going to be Tampa. I mean,
New Orleans could win that division. Like, would you be surprised if New Orleans won it?
I'm looking at it. No, that's how that
you trust Atlanta?
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't trust. We don't trust any of these teams.
No. I mean, of course, that's the point. That's the point of it. So then the task is to try to pick one out of there. I've so loudly announced that Tampa is done. Yeah, I'm gonna go with New Orleans. Let's go with New Orleans. Put NO in there. But I mean, the point is, none of them are good. So sure, somebody has to make the playoffs, and somebody needs to be knocked out in the first round. Those two things are absolutely true. And so it was, and then it was the AFC North.
No, I'm looking at it's the NFC West. So you have Seattle.
Yeah.
You have Seattle at 4-3. You have the Rams at 3-3. San Francisco's at 3-4, and Arizona's at 3-4.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't trust the Rams, but I'm still gonna go Rams make it out of that division. But there is a world where I could see, now that Hopkins is back, there is a world where I could see Arizona having enough get right that they can sneak into the playoffs. But I think I would give that division to the Rams.
Yeah,
your point is well taken. Like it was fine. Any of those teams, sure, whatever, make the playoffs, get knocked out in the first round.
The thing about it is, it's rare. It's like each conference normally has one horrible division. That's commonplace. But to have two bad divisions does not happen that often. And we've mentioned this throughout the course of the season. There's no question that the NFC goes through the NFC East. Like that, like to me, that is like as the weeks go by, I'm just more and more convinced that it's going to be a great three team race, not only for that division, but frankly for the conference. Stock up, stock down. Stock up, of course, Seattle Seahawks. We talked about Geno Smith. They right now have clearly won the Russell Wilson trade, which I don't think we definitely would have said before the season started.
It's not even close.
No, it's not even close. Not even close. Joe Burrow is lighting the world up right now. Has had a big October. 15 total for the entire season. He's at 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. October, he's 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. And by the way, not a coincidence. September he was sacked 16 times. October he's only been sacked 8. So they have like kind of settled that offensive line down, and Burrow is playing at a very playing like playing like Joe Burrow, like playing like we know how he can play. Didn't know if he was going to be able to reach this level this year, considering their problems on the offense, but they've kind of righted the ship, and they will be right there with Baltimore in terms of that division. Stock down, yeah.
Say that again.
Stock down, of course, the Patriots. We've gone through that in terms of why their stock down. Stock is way down.
Way down
with the Patriots. I mean, and falling. It's going to continue to fall. So, and I think the Patriots have been on here. Were on here earlier this season, if I'm not mistaken. Who won the week? I went to a different sport because I went to the Houston Astros for winning the week. And
oh, nice.
Yeah.
You got it. Because I don't really have a who won the week. So you got it.
So
the floor on this.
Here's why I went to the Astros. First of all, I've gone through the entire podcast saying that it wasn't I could have put, Geno Smith. I could have put Joe Burrow, but that, whatever. It wasn't a great week of NFL football from a standpoint of quality of play. But I couldn't help, and I'm sure you had a great week considering two teams that you hate got handled, the Patriots and the Yankees. Astros sweep the Yankees, and the Astros have been the model franchise in baseball over the last 6 years. So 6 years in a row in the playoffs. They have won more games than anyone in that span. If not, they might be second to the Dodgers, but the Dodgers always flame out in the playoffs. They've gone to the LCS 6 straight years. This will be their 4th World Series appearance in 6 years. They're going for their 2nd title. Should be a great series with them in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is hot right now. But the bottom line is, all I heard for the last 2 or 3 years was about the cheating with the trash cans, and they had to wear that. Fired them, got rid of the general manager, got rid of the manager. But all I heard was we'll see we will see what they can do without the cheating. All they've done since then is make the playoffs and get to the World Series. And all I heard from the two teams that bitched and moaned about it the most were the Dodgers and Yankees, the two teams that they've beat during that time span. Beat the Dodgers in the 27 World Series, 17 World Series, took out have owned the Yankees in the playoffs. Yep. I mean, owned them. So I don't want to hear about the cheating no more. It's over. This is the best franchise in baseball right now. They draft the best. They develop the players the best. They have the best culture. They do it. They do it better than anybody. Period. You know that the Astros are going to be right there. Dodgers have a $1 billion payroll. Bye. Yankees have all these home run hitters. Bye. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. So I don't want to hear about the cheating scandal anymore. It's over. That's it. Like that. That's it. Like if Houston would have won like 70 games and not made the playoffs, then you could talk about it. No, they won 106 games, and then they're back in the World Series for the 2nd straight year and favorite to win it.
Yep.
So when they took all the criticism, and rightfully so. They got caught, whatever. But now that shit is over. Like they've been in the playoffs since they got caught. They've made the playoffs each one of the last 2 or 3 years, 2020, 2021, and this year, and they're in the World Series again. So at some point, it's like, and I even with the cheating, I said, look, I understand the penalties, I understand the criticism, but that they're winning. They're not winning games because they're cheating. They're winning games because they have great players and they have they have people in the front office that know what the hell they're doing. That's why they win it. That was the main reason why they were winning games. And I said that even in the midst of the treat of the the cheating scandal. I said, no. I said, I get, the cheat. I get, they were wrong. They got caught. They had to wear that, but they have great players and they have great ownership. They had a great general manager. They have great scouts, draft, all that. So let's not let's choose like basically facts over feelings. I think it was some jealousy, of course, because they were kicking everybody's ass, and that's how that's naturally going to be the case. You get caught cheating and you're winning all the time. So, oh, you only won because you cheat. Cool. That only means something if the team doesn't win after the cheating. If the team is winning after the cheating, and when it's been proven, and now everybody's clean, then I don't want to hear it anymore. That's it. That's it. So the Astros win the week as they are back in the World Series to face the Philadelphia Phillies. And by the way, they're undefeated in the playoffs as of right now. So, you know, Week 8 preview. Some very good matchups. Baltimore, Tampa. Tampa is beat up. They're down. They'll be down 4 starters for this game. So that's a Thursday night game too. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna get ugly because it's not like Baltimore is tearing up the league. So I don't even know how to call it. I think Baltimore will win, but man, you know how these Thursday night games could be, how strange they could be. What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I like Baltimore in this game, but I just like this game. Like Baltimore is must see TV because you never like the game's never over. It doesn't
No,
matter. Doesn't
no.
matter how many they're up by. Um, it's never over, and you never know how they're going to fuck it up in the fourth quarter. So it's just must see TV. But I do think they're going to pull out the victory in this one. But you're right. Who knows on Thursday night? Those games get so weird.
San Francisco and the Rams, two teams that are struggling right now, that both of them badly are in desperate need of a win. We know what has transpired of recent. 49ers have owned the Rams. Uh, until I see it, I gotta go with San Francisco until I see otherwise. They just own. Like I haven't seen. There's nothing I've seen that would tell me that the Rams are going to win this game, despite how much San Francisco has struggled. What are your thoughts on this game?
You know what? I'm going to say the Rams show some pride on this one, specifically because they got Christian McCaffrey. I feel like it'll be super embarrassing just on like a man level, a football player, um, masculinity level, or whatever, football player ego level, to let the new toy just destroy them. Which is I could absolutely see it going that way. So I'm going to say the Rams show some pride and don't let that happen. And San Francisco is a little too focused on their new toy and let the game get away from them 23-20.
Very fascinating game. Giants in Seattle should be in terms of excellent offense versus excellent defense. Two teams that are playing well, especially the Giants. Just Giants just find ways to win games. They won another close game against Jacksonville last week on the road. Seattle, of course, has been one of the more entertaining teams with the hot quarterback. What are your thoughts on this game? Very good game, by the way.
Yep. I'm a believer in the Giants. I'm a believer. I said that they will turn me into a believer. Uh, let's keep it all the way real. What's going on? The Dable's gone to the Patriots playbook in terms of how you design an offense when your talent is just super deficient, and old school Patriots. And so they're just playing flawless, uh, technically flawless football, not beating themselves and just waiting for the team to make a mistake, which 99% of the time they will. And I think Seattle's a bit more reckless with the football, and because of that, I'm going to go. Hold on one second. Oh, because of that, I'm going to go Seattle. I'm
The
going to go
Giants.
with the Giants.
Yeah, I like it. I just like this role the Giants are on. The chemistry, the culture. They seemingly believe, like I said, polar opposite of Baltimore, which finds ways to lose close games. Giants seemingly believe they cannot lose a close game. So, and the bottom line is they have proven to be a second half team with the adjustments that are made during halftime. And that, again, this will be a very good game because Seattle, like outside the 49er game, Seattle has been in every game, even when they've lost. So they, for the most, they
Yeah,
played basically
it's gonna be a fun one.
only one bad game. They've had one dud this year, so they've been consistent from that standpoint. Again, this should be a very good game. But to your point, I think I trust the Giants more from in terms of not making that critical mistake. What looked like a possible game of the year candidate in August now looks like
Looks like a
walkover.
great game. Looks like a
But
great
it's
game.
still a fascinating matchup. You still have the two quarterbacks, Green
No,
Bay,
it's going to be
Buffalo.
a great game.
So you're predicting a close game.
Looks great. No, see, you're defining games differently than I am.
Go ahead. What do you think?
By
Go ahead.
talking
No,
about the close
you're the
game,
Buffalo
it's
man.
going to
Go
be a
ahead.
great game. Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like breaking this down like a normal person. Here, like I have tried to figure out how we don't put 40 up on them. I really have. I use that as a mental exercise. Like, how is it that we don't put 40 up on them, and how do they score more than 7 points against us? And it, I mean, like it would all come down to that we would be overlooked. We're riding high, coming off the big Kansas City win, and we overlooked the Green Bay Packers. That just isn't a possibility. It just isn't. We remember what happened last year after the Kansas City victory, and this is the Green Bay freaking Packers coming to Buffalo. This is Aaron Rodgers coming to Buffalo on Sunday night. There's just no way. And we played so good in primetime games. So you're right. Unless you are a Bills fan or you are a Packers hater or someone who doesn't just enjoy watching the Green Bay Packers just get stomped into the ground over and over again, then you're right. Then this won't be a good game for you. But if you are a Bills fan, you are a Packers hater, or you just like watching the Packers just get defeated for your own personal pleasure, then this will be a great game for you because it will be all Bills, no Packers. So I'm gonna go 41-7. Yeah, I'm calling.
I've been trying to convince myself that this game can possibly
the way
be
we don't
close.
score 41 is if we do 38 in the first half. Sorry.
I've been trying to convince myself that this actually.
I'm calling this 41. Damn it.
So I've been trying to convince myself that this can actually be a competitive football game, and will be a competitive football game. And I looked at the condensed game between the Packers and Commanders, and I was like, it's not like we as a Commanders even played great. Like Heineke, threw about 3 interceptions. He threw about 3 interceptions that should have been caught. Which he tends to do.
Talking about the ones, they've been even.
Yeah, they dropped 3 or 4 interceptions, at least 3. I count 3, maybe even more than that.
And you cannot turn the ball over against us. You just can't.
No,
you can't.
No,
you can't. You cannot. You just cannot.
Yeah, like I just can't figure out how Green Bay stays in this game. I can't because like it's not only with the offense struggling. Their special teams is horrible. Like they fumble a punt or kickoff like seemingly every other game. Like it's like they can't fill the punt. Like I was like, yo, how many punts are y'all going to drop that lead to fumbles, that lead to turnovers? So they're not doing anything well for the most part.
And even with all of go ahead.
I know that again, defense is top 10, but again, that's not an overpowering defense. We know that. And you can move the ball in their defense. We moved the ball in their defense, especially when we had to get yards on their defense. We made plays and got yards on that defense. So I just don't see a path for this game not being like 35-10, 38-17, 38-13, 28-7, 31, like somewhere along. I just don't like I don't, but I don't see it. But again, I've seen stranger things happen in the NFL where we like that's this is why the NFL like in like that term any given Sunday. Like I have seen
Yeah.
stranger things happen. I have, to be honest
And
with
and that's fine. I'm about to erase all doubt from all this. Don't anybody put any hopes on this. If you want to see a good game, we're going to massacre them. It's that simple. But I'll give you even beyond my own bias, even beyond my own bias, fandom picture. And it's not. I call all the 40-point games. I know what my team's geared up and ready to destroy. They're geared up and they're ready to destroy Packers. There's just no chance. There's no chance. I'm calling it right now. Boom, block, anything. I'll hit whatever button you need to do. Whatever receipt, I will cash it, but there's just no way. Because, this time I'm going to erase all doubt, their quarterback doesn't even believe they can win this game. He stood up on the stage, and when they talk about, he's like, yeah, I guess this will just be what we need. Nobody will believe in us. Maybe this is what we need. Everybody expects Buffalo to come and everything like that. I'm looking at that man. First of all, I've never heard Aaron Rodgers do anything like that before. Never.
He doesn't even talk like that. He doesn't talk like that.
No. So like that, I was like, that's just weird. Yes. And then I was just like, you have no answers. Y'all have no answers.
No.
And if the best that you got is maybe because the world thinks we'll get beat that we could beat Buffalo, this is what I know about my team. We are so damn well coached. Yep. We come ready to play. We come with a game plan.
And again, you're coming off a bye.
We look at your full, everything like that. You can't wish and pray and wish and hope against us.
No.
You can't. Yeah, real. That's the other thing that erases all doubt. We've had 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah. So you had 1 week to get. You had 1 week to get over.
That's what I said. I tried. I did. I for real tried. I tried because I was like, I know how I'm going to sound. So I tried to see if there was I really did that mental exercise. There's no way. And I'm not that type of fan, as you know. But like when I see it, I call it. There's just no way. There's no way they win this game.
No.
Outside of, as we all know, the crazy shit that can happen,
right.
Injury or we just pull a Jacksonville. But that's the whole effing point of the season, to never pull a Jacksonville again. So to your point, NFL any given Sunday, it would have to be something out of the realm of possibility that we can see right now in order for this game to be anything that is even remotely close.
No.
So Aaron Rodgers is right. It. We are all going to pick ass whoopers. We are. You're right, sir. We are.
Yeah, I don't see, like I said, y'all are trending up. They're trending, like they're getting worse, if that's possible. Like they're not trending. Yeah, there's the train is off the track. So yeah, they're getting worse. And then the stuff like the stuff you got out of Green Bay, with the podcast, and it's been so bad that they don't even like their own media people the media people in the podcast, they don't even believe what they're saying.
They're over. I
think it's messing. It's fucking their heads up.
They're over them.
They don't believe what they're saying. Like it's
like yo, the head coach and the quarter. Like if the head coach and the quarterback can agree, then what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
No.
Why are we even playing the game? What the fuck, people? Like what is even happening? So it's like, as a fan, what do they even have to root for?
Yeah. No.
Like your fundamental parts of your team can't even agree with each other. Like what is there even to root for as a fan of that team? Like for real, like those are the look. We've all been there. Those are dark days as a fan when you're just like, what is this franchise even doing? They're not even trying to play a sport and win. I don't know what they're doing. We've been there, and those are dark days. Those are dark days. What's Tampa's head coach? What did he say up there on the thing? He's just like, we in the dark days, the darkest of dark times. Like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. When your organization just fundamentally doesn't even understand how to win football games anymore. Those
Oh, I'm
are
glad.
dark days. They are.
Before I let you go, I'm glad you bring up Tampa Bay. I don't want to hear about Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians couldn't fix this shit.
No,
Stop it.
God, no.
Stop it.
No, God,
Like,
no.
please, stop.
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 Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
Stop.
Don't want
Y'all
to hear about Bruce
talking
Arians.
so much
You
shit
know who
about
the
him
blame is? This is
anyways.
Tom. This is on Tom Brady. Because I mean, honestly,
Oh, this one time. Of course
Bo's
it is.
defense actually has played well. Their defense has been fine for the most part. Outside the
Yeah.
Kansas City game, their defense has been fine. This is on Tom Patrick
Of course it is.
Brady.
Because even if you want to say Bruce Arians, why isn't Bruce Arians there? Anybody?
Tom Patrick Brady.
Anybody? Oh, for real. Yes. Let's call on you. Why is Bruce Arians no longer the head coach anymore? Whose fault is that?
Yeah, we can't have it both ways here. We can't give them all the praise when they win.
Nope, we sure can't. We sure can't.
When they lose.
That's my thing on this.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. All
suck.
signs go back to Brady. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. You got to eat this.
Mm-mm.
You got to eat this.
Arians couldn't fix this because Brady wouldn't even be listening to him anyway.
No, exactly. Right.
Even if he had some miracle plan.
It'd be like a LaFleur Rodgers situation with those two. No, we can't. No.
I mean, the simple point is, even if Arians had a magic plan in his back pocket somewhere, even if he did, he wouldn't be allowed to use it because Brady wouldn't allow him.
No. Nah.
So come on now, what are we doing here? Come on, people, let's keep it consistent.
Yeah. Because it's like I said, Bowles' defense actually that's kept them in games at times. Like the defense actually, they're only giving up. If your defense is only giving up 17 points a game, you should be able to win the majority of those games. Like 17 points that's top 5, like in terms of scoring defense. So go ahead.
Just remind me, what was the final score of the Carolina game?
It was 21-3.
Was it 38, 30? Wait, say that again?
No, 21-3.
I thought you were going to say 38, 30. Oh. 3 points. That's not a lot of points.
They had 3 points. They scored 3.
Not a lot of points.
Nope.
That sounds like no touchdowns in score.
Yeah, no, it does.
So, tell me how this defense fought again. Somebody please explain this to me.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Nah.
Look, 3 points ain't going to get it done.
Nah.
It's not going to get it done.
That's not going to cut it.
That ain't it.
That's not going to do it.
They ain't going to get it done.
No, it's not going to do it at all. So we'll see what happens with this week. Like I said, and by the way, like we didn't mention them, but we did kind of mention, but we didn't talk about the game. Kansas City, when Kansas City turns it on, like I said, it is, and again, that
it's Golden State. It's just like when I see the boys on that sideline smiling and laughing, I'm just like, oh, they just doing whatever they please.
Oh my goodness!
When they get rolling,
it's
know
over.
They're unstoppable.
Yeah, it's over.
That's the thing.
It's over. But you know what that?
They know they're unstoppable. Their level of play goes better. Yours you get very depressed because you're just as opposing team. Like, we can't stop them. We got nothing. Please let this time run out. That's all you got. Please let this time run out.
Because that's a top 5 defense they're playing against. Like, that's a legit top 5 defense. Like, that's a real NFL defense. That's not. So it just tells you. It just goes to show you the level that Buffalo's at to hold that team to 20 points. Because more times than not, they're gonna put 35 to 40 on you. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing.
That's always my main. Like, I'm yelling at the TV screen the entire time because I'm like, yo, y'all never do any of this against us. They never make their silly little mistakes against us. Do any of those different things. They're so hyper competitive. So we, in order to compete against them, we had to get very good. We had no choice unless we just wanted to keep losing to them over and over again, where we weren't even close. Like 2 years ago, we weren't even close to them.
Right.
So it's so they're the reason we had to get this good. so we could compete. They're that good, and they've been that good for so long. I mean, come on now. I mean, like just you just gotta give standing ovation sometimes. Andy Reid and his perfect quarterback are magic. This is what he always dreamed it could be. This is just literally all those times he was effing around with Donovan McNabb. He was like, "There's another level. I know there's just another level to this offense."
And by the way, in contrasting, like, because they, like Green Bay loses Devontae Adams, they lose Tyreek Hill. Difference is, of course, obviously the quarterback and coach are on the same page, but the difference also too, they had a plan. They had a plan.
There you go.
Of
there
action.
You go.
This was a plan.
Say it again. Say it again.
This was a plan.
It was part of a plan.
It
was part of
the plan.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't them trying to
releasing Tyreek Hill was a strategic reaction to how defenses were playing them, and it's also a calculated plan by a head coach that had to develop a quarterback and wean him off his primary receiver.
Yep.
And get his game to even another level.
Yep.
So, even if you have two dynamic weapons, Reed knows you give defenses key things to lock in on, they're going to lock in on it and take it away. And if you're not practiced in those other things. So he knew it. I'm just frustrated as a rival that they figured it out this fast.
Yep.
I was hoping it would take a season, and it did. It took off season, of course, because they're brilliant. They're all brilliant over there, and it's just the worst. Somebody please hire Eric Bieniemy because he's getting on my nerves. He was Patrick Mahomes. Somebody please hire this man like immediately because I'm over this. I'm just over it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they operate at.
They're so very good.
Yeah,
they're so very good.
They know who they are, and they know who they are, and you got a coach that, like, Andy Reid is going to continue to evolve with the times. He does not get stuck in my way. This is how it has to be done. Like that guy in New England.
Here's why it's just. I mean, he's just a Hall of Fame. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a generational mind with a generational talent. And this is why you just got to give them a standing ovation because they, like, in order to compete with Kansas City, you have to have all-time great talent, all-time great scheme. Like, you cannot mess around with them boys. You got to have Tom Brady on the other side at the peak of his powers, or you have to have a fantastic, just psychotic defense. And preferably both to compete with them.
Yep.
That's how good their offense is.
Yep.
That's how much pressure they put on you as a team. Oh, they're so very good. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I'm more of an offensive supporter than I'm a defensive supporter. So I would definitely say that. And so as somebody who just really, really enjoys good offense, Kansas City is never a bad watch. Never.
No. Oh, no.
Never.
No.
Never. Because the level of skill and intellect you have to put into place to stop them is so even if they don't do their normal thing where they just truck you and score 45, you get to enjoy the level of skill and intellect that has to go into stopping them on the other side as well. So they're just never a bad watch because they're so very good. They're so very good.
All right. Looking forward to it. As always, Mr. Sapp, thank you for joining me. Good luck this weekend. Good luck on Sunday.
On Sunday night for the whole nation to see.
You know what I'm looking forward to that game more? I'm looking forward to the post game stuff. That's all I'll be. I want to hear what Aaron Rodgers has to say. These post games are like must watch, must see TV now. They are must see TV because it's going beyond we got to get better. Everybody's got to be accountable. It's going we've gone beyond those cliche stuff. Now it's like guys got to know the plays. So now we're starting to get to some personal shit like guys missing
Yep.
assignments, inexcusable. So now the finger pointing is starting. So that's when it starts really
Well,
getting good, especially by Rodgers.
well, here's what I can guarantee is going to happen. Rodgers is going to press to try to be the MVP looking self. So what I'm waiting for, because the stories write themselves, is going to be reigning two-time MVP to the next MVP, right? Like that's going to be a big part
Right.
of the storyline. And so I can't wait to hear what he has to say when he gets up there, and they have to ask him how does it feel being outplayed by Josh Allen. Just you
Yeah.
wait.
Yep.
So yes, I
Yep.
agree with you. That press conference is going to be fun.
Yep.
It's just going to be fun.
Yep.
Unless
Yep.
we lose, and then I'm not going to want to talk to anybody or listen to anything or think about anything. I'm miserable on the oh man, and Sunday night too. Oh
No.
man.
Yeah. No. So yeah, for all the seat, no,
Oh.
no, can't lose that. Can't lose that one. All right, Mr.
That'd be a
Sapp.
tough one. That'd be a tough one.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
that'd be a rough one. We will see you.
Now she's depressed me. Yep. All right, sir.
All right. Have a great rest of the evening.
Later.
That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. Of course, as always, thanks to Rob Sapp for joining me. Looking forward to week 8 of the NFL season. Also, some very intriguing college football. A great weekend of college football coming up as well. Some, SEC is doing what the SEC does. I'll be looking forward to Alabama, LSU in a couple of weeks. I will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. So long.